Hi guys, hope you're doing well. It's Nick here, Managing Director at Verta Property Group. So today I'm recording a video speak through of our complete guide to investing in Dubai property remotely. For those of you that don't know, my name is Nick. I'm the Managing Director of Verta Property Group. We help investors purchase in the UK and Dubai property markets. We do it from start to finish, holding your hand through that entire process, and we do it completely free of charge. We help you choose locations, developers, projects, get mortgages, use solicitors, help with furnishing, property management. So it's completely hands off for you, and you're benefiting from our experience network, etc., etc. So we have seen a huge surge in demand for Dubai property. It is a market that's very close to my heart. I first lived in Dubai in 2014, lived there multiple times since. I've run companies there. I had a RERA regulated real estate agency, which I sold in 2024. But through Verta Property Group, we help investors purchase there, mostly UK investors that are looking to diversify, or perhaps they want to get some more aggressive capital appreciation or higher cash flow on a monthly basis. As a result of that, they're looking at and they're considering the Dubai market. They've heard a lot about it, but often they don't know where to start, what the process is, what the regulations are, etc., etc. So we effectively bridge that gap between the UK and the Dubai property market. And, we have a lot of investors from all over the globe. So no matter where you are, we can help you invest in Dubai. So this guide is basically a high-level overview of why Dubai, the process, mortgage bits and bobs, locations, developers, just to give a quick snapshot introduction. It's not designed to be completely, in-depth and go for an hour long, but hopefully after watching this, you'll have a basic understanding of the market structure. So as I've touched on here, Dubai has emerged to be a top investment location for really from people all over the world. So there's a lot of Chinese investing in Dubai now. Europeans, it's always been popular with. Obviously, you've got the Gulf region itself, out to the Americans and Canadians. So it really attracts wealth from all over the globe. As a result of that, there are differences in the property market. Dubai's kind of taken bits from everywhere. It's kind of a mix mash in terms of regulations, how things work, infrastructure, etc. So it does help to have someone that knows and understands the market there. Now, our job is simple. We make overseas investing very, very easy. So we guide you through the process from start to finish. We work with developers. As I say, I know Dubai like the back of my hand. And our job is to help investors purchase successfully and safely, so you never have to leave your living room, basically. Now, just a couple of headline images. Why is Dubai so popular? This road is called Sheikh Zayed Road, by the way. Why is Dubai so popular? Why are investors looking at it? Let's just go for a couple of headline reasons. So, number one, capital appreciation. This is the amount at which your property increases in value, typically expressed as a percentage per annum. So if you buy a property for £100,000 and it's got a 10% appreciation rate, what that means is it's going to be worth after 1 year £110,000. Okay. So in Dubai, seeing 20, 30, 40, 50% capital appreciation per annum is actually very, very frequent, especially that 20 to 30% mark. It's very, very common to achieve that in high demand off-plan projects. So the value at which properties rise in Dubai is very, very quick, and it's aggressive. Okay, that's why people like it, because it's a volatile marketplace. Because the UK market, you can look at it as very slow and steady and increases gradually over time. Dubai is a bit more like that, but it tends to have more appreciation. Rental yields, the rental prices in Dubai since COVID have skyrocketed. I'm sure everyone knows people are moving to Dubai. The population is going through the roof. The demand for rental property is very, very strong, because although people do end up staying and eventually they buy a property, obviously a lot of people, they do want to rent first. So it's not necessarily the case that everyone goes there and immediately buys a property. Even if they're looking and they've got the means to, perhaps they'll rent, they'll test out areas, etc., etc. So the demand for rent is very, very high. As a result of that, the prices increase, and your rental yield as a property investor or landlord is very, very high. So you can just buy a regular property for 150, 200,000 pounds, and you can get a 9% gross rental yield very, very easily in Dubai, which in the UK you just simply don't get now. Manchester, even Liverpool, you're looking at a 5-6% gross return these days in some of these new premium spec projects. Tax-free income, we'll touch on this a bit later, but no income taxed at source. No corporation tax for this type of investment because there's a bracket you have to hit first, and no capital gains tax. Interest-free developer payment plans. This is a massive one. Off-plan property investing. So buying property during the construction period is very, very popular in Dubai. 60, 70, 80% of the transactions done on a monthly basis or quarterly basis will be off-plan, which means buying direct from the developer during the construction period. And the reason why, or one of the reasons why it's so popular, is because the developers give very attractive payment terms. So sometimes you don't even have to worry about getting a mortgage. You can just have an agreement with the developer to pay in staged payments. And as a result of that, it's interest free, which is very, very popular. And it's very unique to see that. You certainly don't. There's one developer in the UK that offers something similar. Mortgages for non-residents. So Dubai market, or the Dubai market in general, has matured a lot. So it used to be a lot harder to get mortgages. Now it's very, very easy for non-residents to get mortgages. We work with brokers in the marketplace. So you can get a 60% LTV rate, which generally means that you need a 40% deposit and typically around 15,000 AED, which is just over £3,000 per month in income. They're the kind of minimum criteria that you would need to get a mortgage. But overall, it's very, very easy. It's a safe, regulated market. A lot of people don't know this, but it's much more regulated than the UK in terms of the construction build. For example, escrow accounts are used. Every developer, every agency, every development project has to be registered with RERA, who are the governing body of the Dubai real estate market. Escrow accounts are used during the construction period. You know, the contract terms are very clear, transparent. You'll be sent your contract for you to read through. So it is a very safe and regulated market. And you can easily do reading about that online, or speak to your consultant, or speak to me directly, and we can advise of the protections in place for investors. Because a lot of the time, you're putting money into these projects during construction, so you want to know it's protected. The short answer is dedicated escrow accounts have to be used. It's a legal requirement, and those funds are then drip fed to the developer in line with construction milestones. So it's all very nice and organized and secure. And Dubai itself is very popular. Huge amount of economic growth. They're always building, the new world's biggest thing, etc., etc. But the big one for me at the moment is the airport. It's going to be by far the biggest in the world. There's going to be a lot of traffic going through Dubai. Another one here I didn't actually mention in this guide, but I'll just give it to you now, is the specification and the actual product you get. So look at this project, for example. You've got a man-made beach here. Got lovely sun lounges, got kids play area, co-working gym, cinema rooms, underground parking, freehold purchase, reasonable service charge. This project, when it launched, you could pick up a studio here for 150 grand. So in terms of pounds. So the actual product that you get in terms of the specification of the development, is very, very strong. It makes it really, really interesting. So if you're seeking long-term wealth creation, it can be a great one to look at. So just to circle back then about us ourselves, we've got a network of over 31,000 investors globally. The majority of our business is via the UK property market, but we can help with the Dubai property market too. We've got a decent team now. We've got one of our directors actually lives in Dubai. So if you want to speak face-to-face, we can do, whether that's in the UK or Dubai. These are really important to me. I am the founder of our agency. I run it with another guy called Toby Mancuso, who's the director in Dubai. And we've always operated with being very transparent, operating with integrity, and with service being at the forefront of our mind. We don't do that for fun. We do it because it gets us repeat business. It gets us referrals. It gets us developer stock and relationships which other companies might not have. And it allows, people to work with us and allows us to do a high volume of business. It's that simple. We are registered with the Property Redress Scheme in the UK, which is a legal requirement to be a member of a redress scheme. Obviously, we are HMRC registered for anti-money laundering, ICO, etc., etc. So, we've been doing this a long time. We know what we're doing. Just touching on the markets then, just to give you a very quick overview. I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. I'm not going to read this word for word, but downtown Dubai, it's kind of the epicenter, the business center. It's where the Burj Khalifa is. It's where Dubai Mall is. You've got a lot of premium hotels around there. You're right next door to DIFC, which is the famous financial district. And it's kind of the central business hub of Dubai. You then got Business Bay, which is effectively a residential and commercial community which almost surrounds downtown Dubai. You're literally talking like 3-4 minutes drive, or sometimes a 5-minute walk from Business Bay to downtown Dubai. It's the immediate vicinity. It's becoming almost indistinguishable now. So Business Bay, you've seen a lot of big premium projects go in there, and developers, Select have gone in there. You have the SLS building, many more, Paramount. So it is a great investment spot. Dubai Hills Estate, for those of you that don't know, Emaar are kind of the big major market leader developer in Dubai. They build master community, which means they build all the infrastructure, the roads, the green spaces, the communities, the shopping centres, as well as the apartments and houses themselves. And one of their most famous master communities in recent years is Dubai Hills Estate. The reason it's so popular is because it's very green, which is naturally rare in Dubai. So it's a very premium end user district. I believe it's like the kind of described as the Beverly Hills of Dubai. Dubai Marina and JBR, this is where you see a lot of tourists. So you're shooting from over the other side of Dubai now. You kind of got downtown Dubai, or what people just call downtown Business Bay, over one side. Then you've got Dubai Hills, you're getting a little bit closer down the Al Khail Road. And then you're over the other side, you're towards the Dubai Marina and the Palm. So Dubai Marina is kind of one of the most maturest markets in Dubai. You've got over 200 residential towers there. It's kind of like the most famous beach, JBR. And yeah, it's very, very touristy focused. So the feeling of the marina versus downtown is a completely different world. Arjan, JVC, JVT, these are, I would say, kind of like secondary locations. You're 15-20 minutes drive from the marina, just a bit more inland. But it offers incredible rental yields and great value for money for both investors and tenants. So they are excellent investment locations, really, really good. Emaar Beachfront, Dubai Creek Harbour. So Creek Harbour is actually back over to downtown side, but that's another master community from Emaar. And then you've got Emaar Beachfront, which is right next to the Palm, which is basically a Miami fill stretch of land where they're building out, or they already built out, lots of premium towers, hotels. You've got yacht club there, beach clubs, etc., etc. But this is hyper premium, okay? And yeah, the only other place I will mention is the Palm. This is the Atlantis Hotel. It's not the new one, the Royal, but this is the peak of the Palm. The Palm is the man-made island, and they're also doing at the moment Palm Jebel Ali, which is effectively a bigger version of the Palm Jumeirah, but they're the man-made islands in shape of a palm tree, which I'm sure you all know. Cool. Just to reel through a couple of developers now, just to give you some snapshots. Emaar, who I touched on, they're kind of like the biggest one that everyone knows about. Sobha, they're a great developer. I believe Indian owned, but they've done a lot of work with the various royal families, actually. Very renowned for their product finish and quality. Very, actually quite British focused at the moment. They sponsor Arsenal Football Club. But yeah, they're very, very good. DAMAC, extremely large marketing globally. They are probably the second biggest to Emaar. You go to Dubai, you see the signs on the buildings plastered absolutely everywhere. DAMAC have developed in London and many other places as well, but they're very, very large. Select, I really, really like Select. For years, they were dominant in the marina. They've gone over to Business Bay recently, but really reliable, mid to upper scale developer. Really, really good. Binghatti, they're a great one. They've done projects in recent years with Mercedes, Jacob and Co. So yeah, they are a mass builder. They do a lot of units. They've got some low entry level products in the kind of secondary tier locations. And then they've got these hyper premium ones as well. So Binghatti are a really great developer to look at, and they're a bit more affordable on the payment plan as well. Other than this, just some ones off the top of my head. You've got Morass, who are very, very well established and do some great communities. You've got Ellington, which is run by the ex-CEO of Emaar, who are really, really popular now. Stunning products, who are renowned again for their quality. You've got Leo's, which is a great British developer, which entered Dubai, who we're doing a lot of work with at the moment. You've got smaller developer. Layers Developer is a great one that we work with. Again, smaller, but really great product finish. You could go on forever. There's lots and lots of developers in Dubai. Cool. So just to touch on here, guys, in terms of the process, don't forget management, lettings, furniture, mortgages. We can do it all. Okay. Hand to hand, one point of contact from start to finish. we can ensure you can do it completely remotely. And what is that process? So the first stage would be speaking to us. If you're dealing with Verta, that would be myself, Toby, or one of the other team members who can advise on basic Dubai overview, how it compares to the UK, etc., etc. When you're happy overall, we'll go through, we'll select a project, we'll make a reservation that's paid direct to the developer in their dedicated escrow account. They'll then send you a contract to sign. You sign the contract. You then go through the payment plan process. On completion, your purchase is registered with the Dubai Land Department. You then furnish it and rent it out either in the long-term let or short-term let market, and then you're done. It's that simple. Obviously, there's a lot of back and forth in dealing with developers throughout this process. So we can take care of that for you. We can assist you in that and hold your hand all the way through. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So I've touched on this earlier, but mortgages and payment plans, the developer payment plans are really the best, stress-free, no minimum earning requirements, no credit checks, no interest rates, no long-term agreements. It's can be very, very attractive indeed. But if you do want to get a mortgage, if you really want to leverage, if you want to buy more units, etc., then remember 40% deposit level, about £3,000 minimum earning, and you are good to go. Kind of touched on that here. A couple of the brokers we work with, again, you can Google these guys. You don't have to go via us. Just have a look online. Husby and Holo, two major brokers in the mortgage brokers in the UAE market. Cool. Yeah, just one note on this. I'm trying to fly through this as to not make it too long, but don't forget that the mortgage deposit levels are a separate matter in comparison to what the developer is asking for. So when you're buying to buy, normally you're going to be buying off plan, and the developers are going to ask for a certain amount during the construction period. Okay. So if the developer's asking for 70% during construction, it means you obviously have to pay that in cash. And then the remaining balance is due, you can pay via the mortgage. Okay. So let's say we have a project, it comes out, it's 70-30, and you want to use a mortgage. That means that the developer is asking for 70% during the construction period, and then the 30% on completion is when you can use a mortgage. So normally whatever balance is left over on completion to pay is what you can leverage with finance, okay? So just be cautious. We'll obviously make you aware of that, but just be cautious that you're not thinking all the time, oh, I can get a mortgage and I can put in just 40%. Well, that's no good if a developer's asking for 50 or 60%, okay? If a developer's asking for 40%, that's ideal because it means you're putting in the minimum amount of cash during the construction period, and then you're leveraging as much as possible on completion. So yeah, just double check the specific projects, and this varies hugely, guys. There's a massive amount of supply of stock of developments you can choose from in Dubai, and they've all got different payment plans, different deposit levels, etc., etc. Cool. Lettings and management. I won't go into this too much, but as I've touched on, as I've said multiple times, finding tenants, managing a property, maintenance, furnishing the property, repairs, renewals, utilities, reselling when you want to exit your investment and you want to sell your property, visa process. We can help with it all. Okay. So just to touch on visas very quickly, investor visa, minimum investment 750,000 dirhams, which is about 160,000 pounds. You get a 2-year visa. You just renew it every 2 years, but then you've got the full rights to bank accounts, education, etc., etc. Golden visa, 2 million dirhams, can be done via off plan, can be done via mortgage, but the value needs to be 2 million AED, which I don't know in pounds, 420, 430, 450 USD. But just speak to us about the mortgage requirements, or just Google it. You'll find it very quickly online. But it is possible. You just got to make sure you hit the minimum entry level for the property values. Yields, as I've said here, 6 to 8% net on the long-term market, which means if you're giving it to a tenant for 12 months, then you can expect 6 to 8% net return in a premium location. And then short-term let market, 8 to 12% genuine net returns, okay? Residency visas, I've touched on that here. Just to mention tax, okay? Now, no, tax is not taxed at, income is not taxed at source in Dubai. However, if you are bringing capital from Dubai back into the UK, you do have to declare it, okay? It's as simple as that. You do have to declare it. If you get rental income, if you sell your property and bring it back to the UK, you have to put it on your self-assessment. The UK are going to want to be involved in that. So you need to get the relevant tax advice around that. A lot of investors leave the funds in Dubai, and then obviously it's not taxed at source it's not taxed in the UK. So you can leave it there, build up equity, grow a portfolio. That's generally how we recommend doing it. But it's a kind of a myth, really, that you can invest in this magic place which doesn't take any of your money, doesn't tax any of your money. No, it doesn't. But in reality, you bring that money back to the UK, you're going to be taxed on it. So keep that in mind. A couple of benefits though. Stamp duty equivalent in Dubai is called the Dubai Land Department fee, which is a flat 4% rate. So you're paying lower SDLT in most cases. And there's no capital gains or inheritance tax on the Dubai side. Banking, yes, you can open a bank account. Just worry about that on completion. It's very easy to do. You can open a non-resident bank account. Ownership structures. It's not like the UK where you can quickly set up a company online and you've got an SPV and you can just slap your property name in it. It's not possible, okay, guys? Dubai has a very different business structure. I know this. I've set up multiple. I own multiple businesses now, and one of them is in Dubai. So the process is expensive. So you've got to pay yearly license fees. It's quite regulated around what activities you can do. But put it this way, nearly all investors buying into Dubai, unless you're doing it on a mega scale, are buying in personal names. Okay, doesn't make any difference to your tax exposure, etc., etc. If you're buying in a company name, you've got to get an Emirates ID. You've got to go there. You've got to register the company. You've got to pay your license fees. You've got to pay your setup fees. You've got to pay your company incorporation fees, and you've got to renew that. And there's a lot of admin around it. Okay, so just take my word for it. No one is buying in company names like they do in the UK. Doesn't make any difference to your tax exposure. The only reason some bigger firms do it is privacy reasons, is a lot of the time. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of it, really. But yeah, any questions on that, just let us know. Legal side, there's not really too much you have to consider about this. I'm not going to dive into it too much, but you can have a read through that. The long and short of it is it's safe. Escrow accounts are used. You can review your contracts. Your money's always going direct to developer, etc., etc. Exit strategy. Don't forget, during the construction period, if you're buying off plan, normally there's a minimum amount you have to pay before you can sell it. So just keep that in mind. It might be like 30% of the property value. So just double check when you're purchasing that you can sell when when it suits your strategy, basically. But when you actually come to selling itself, there are literally thousands of companies that will sell it for you for a fee. So yeah, it's very, very easily done, and it'll be pretty cheap as well. Yeah, as I've said here, during construction or post handover. But obviously, look, Dubai is a hot market. There's no sign of it slowing down. So my advice to you is, if you're investing at the moment, buy and hold, because the appreciation rate is very, very attractive, as I've written here. Cool. So yeah, it's just kind of our services there. I've kind of gone over that already. Oh, entry level. Look, you can pick up studios in Dubai from £120,000. We generally recommend a budget of at least £60,000 if you're using a mortgage. But look, Dubai is a mature city now. It's got a global reputation. It's very luxurious. These are very high spec properties in often premium locations. So you're not going to pick up pick up a property at the same price you would a terrace house on the outskirts of Liverpool. So you've got to be aware you're investing in one of the most in-demand markets in the world. So prices are shooting up, but 60 grand will get you into the marketplace. Cool. I'll leave it there, guys. Any questions, you can visit our website, Verta Property Group, or email us, info@vertapropertygroup.co.uk. Just ask for Nick if you want to speak to me directly. You can email me, nick.highland@vertapropertygroup.co.uk, or if you're watching this on YouTube, my details will be in the description below. Hope to speak to you soon. I hope I can help you invest in Dubai. I highly recommend investing in Dubai. If you're starting out, buy in the UK. It's closer to home. Deposit levels are lower. There's more infrastructure. You're familiar with the system. But once you've got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in the UK, look at Dubai. You'll get higher appreciation rates. You can do the short-term let model with no restrictions. You get higher cash flow on a monthly basis. A lot more to choose from. You can go and visit when you want, etc., etc. So thanks for your time, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. That's Nick at Verta Property Group.